The Battle of Hattin was over, and the kings of the Crusader world were brought into a single tent and chain. The Crusader army destroyed, and now two kings stood in front of Salahuddin Ayubi, the tent of the man who had just ended their kingdom. One was given a priceless cup of ice water in the scorching desert heat, and the other got sword slice across his neck. July 4th, 1187, the hills of Hattin, northern Palestine. The massive, proud Crusader army had just been annihilated in a single afternoon. 30,000 soldiers dead, captured, or fled. The true cross captured. The kingdom of Jerusalem effectively finished. Salahuddin Ayubi had spent 12 years building toward this moment, and now the architects of a century of Crusader barbaric brutality sat before him in chains. Guy de Lusignan, king of Jerusalem, and Reynald of Chatillon, the man whose crimes had made this war inevitable. Two men, same tent, same victor, completely different fates. Ibn al-Athir records the scene in precise detail. Guy de Lusignan was brought into Salahuddin's tent first, exhausted, dehydrated, having survived one of the most brutal defeats in medieval history. Salahuddin rose. He personally handed Guy a cup of iced water. In the desert heat of July, ice was almost priceless. It had been carried from the mountains of Lebanon specifically for Salahuddin's personal use. This was not a small gesture. This was an extraordinary one. Guy drank deeply. Then, following the custom of hospitality, passed the cup to Reynald, sitting beside him. Salahuddin watched, then spoke quietly to his interpreter. "You did not have my permission to give him drink. He does not benefit from my hospitality." In the laws of Arab hospitality, if Salahuddin had given Reynald water directly, it would have created a bond of protection. Reynald would have been untouchable. Salahuddin had just closed that door, deliberately, quietly, without raising his voice, because Reynald of Chatillon was not an ordinary prisoner. He was the reason this war had happened. For years, Reynald had violated every truce between the Crusaders and Salahuddin. He had attacked Muslim pilgrimage caravans on their way to Mecca. He had massacred merchants traveling under flag of peace. He had launched a naval expedition into the Red Sea, threatening Mecca and Medina themselves. Salahuddin had sworn personally, publicly, that if he ever captured Reynald, he would execute him with his own hand. Now Reynald sat 3 feet away. Salahuddin turned to him and said, "Here I am," acting as the champion of Muhammad, peace be upon him. He recounted Reynald's crimes, one by one, calmly, precisely. The caravans, the pilgrims, the Red Sea expedition, the broken truces. He asked, "How many times have you sworn an oath and violated it? How many times have you signed agreements you have never respected?" Reynald answered through a translator, "Kings have always acted thus. I did nothing more." Then he offered Reynald one final choice: accept Islam, because that erases sins. Reynald refused. Without hesitation, Salahuddin drew his sword and struck him across the shoulder. His guards finished the execution immediately. Then Salahuddin turned back to Guy de Lusignan, who was now shaking with terror, convinced he was next. Salahuddin sat down, looked at him calmly, and said, "A king does not kill a king, but that man he crossed a line that could not be uncrossed." What happened next shocked the entire medieval world. Guy de Lusignan, king of Jerusalem, was taken into comfortable captivity, treated with respect, fed well, eventually released. The ordinary Crusader soldiers captured at Hattin, thousands of them were given a chance of freedom by ransom. But Salahuddin went further. He personally paid the ransom of soldiers whose families couldn't afford it. He allowed Crusader civilians to leave Jerusalem safely when it fell, 3 months later. Every man, woman, and child given safe passage. The contrast with how Crusaders had taken Jerusalem in 1099, when they massacred every Muslim and Jewish inhabitant, was not lost on anyone watching. Medieval European chroniclers, men who hated everything Salahuddin stood for, wrote about his conduct after Hattin with barely concealed admiration. One wrote simply, "He was more merciful to our people than our own kings had been to his." In one tent, in 1 hour, Salahuddin had demonstrated something that power rarely manages: the precise calibration of justice and mercy. Reynald, who had earned death, received it. Guy, who had fought as a soldier and king, received dignity. The civilians, who had no role in policy, received safety. Not because Salahuddin was weak, because he understood something most conquerors never do. How you treat the defeated tells everyone watching exactly who you are. Jerusalem fell to Salahuddin 3 months after Hattin. Not one civilian was massacred, and in the tent on the hills above the Sea of Galilee, that outcome had already been decided. Now you have to rate this video in comments. Tell me your feedback and suggestions. Anything you have to say, write it in comments. Thank you, and one more thing. Sources for this video include Ibn al-Athir, Imad ad-Din, Medieval Chronicles,